or crusade method, where we broadcast the message to a wide area and hope that some stick. Now in net fishing, you don't necessarily need any bait, necessarily. And you'll understand what I mean later on. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time, and you get trapped by the crowd, and before you know it, you're caught. And so in many instances, fish caught by net need more time to see and understand the way of living, especially if you're going to be an Adventist. Because our way is so different to a lot of other people, and they need time to adjust to that. In net fishing also, you need a lot more men to pull in the catch, not so? So to a crusade, we need a lot more collective support, and everyone can help. You don't need to have any major evangelistic skills, just a willingness to be used and to show the new fish, the members, how nice Adventist living can be. Now, one major drawback with net fishing, which individual fishing can solve, is that one-on-one relationship. Because they come in by the crowd, they tend to get lost in the crowd. And so they need fishermen or helpers, if you will, to befriend them. People want a sense of belonging and to feel loved and appreciated. And they would stay wherever they find it. Whether it is the rum shop, the bus stop, gang, party, the fact is, everyone wants to be loved and cared for. A non-Adventist suggested, and here's what he said, that when we have crusades, don't look to baptize people. Just preach a word and invite them to come to church after that. And if they are serious, they will continue to come and then ask to be baptized. That way, you minimize on those who get baptized because they are trapped by the fear of hell, or seeing others go up and feeling subconsciously obligated and not necessarily moved by the Holy Spirit. Jesus' admonition in the scripture for all of us is to be fishers of men. Therefore, evangelism is for everyone and not limited to pastors at crusades only. So in addition to crusade or net fishing, we all have an individual responsibility to fish for souls. So how can we use fishing for fish to teach us how to fish for men? Let us look closely at the instructions used for fishing and draw some parallels. Now at this point, it's important for you to pay attention. So those of you who might be sleeping or kind of dozing off, wake up yourself. Take a few deep breaths. You ready? Let's go. The reason why it's important is because I will be going between inanimate objects, meaning fishing gears, and comparing it to different human and spiritual qualities. So I need you awake. Because of time, we will only focus on 4 major components: the line, the hook, the bait, and the sinker. The line. What are the qualities of a fishing line? Well, it is somewhat clear and possibly unnoticed by the fish. It must be strong and adaptable. It is a connection between us and the fish. Might I suggest that the line is the Holy Spirit? For it is the Holy Spirit that connects the saint to the sinner. He gives us the words to say and the way to say it. He tells us how far to send out the line and in what direction, when to send it back out again and when to leave it. Without the Holy Spirit, we will be fishing blindly. He gives us the edge. He's our modern day GPS when fishing for souls. He brings back to our memory what we have studied so that we know how to work the bait that we have. Without him, we are relying on human ability. And though we may seemingly get some measure of success, without him guiding, all our efforts are in vain. But with the help of the Holy Spirit, we never come back empty. But with the help of the word, with the help of the Holy Spirit, the words of Isaiah 55 and verse 11. Jonathan, you should be finding that there. You can put it up for us. Isaiah 55 and verse 11, it says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I send it. Let's look at the hook now. A fishing hook must be sharp. It grabs. It's uncomfortable. It hurts, Brother Hector. It also set a different height and position on the line, depending on the fish you're going after. What hurts like a fishing hook in light of fishing for men? Might I suggest the truth hurts. The word of God is truth. Psalm 119 and 160. Thy word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgment endureth forever. John 17:17. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. When you call sin by its name, it hurts real bad. Sad to say, some people just want simple, easy gospel. They don't want to hear about sacrifice and suffering. They just want to come to church on a Sabbath morning, sit down in a nice clothes, hear a nice message, and go home and eat a nice dinner. Don't ask them to go out into the field or stay for prayer and fast. That's hard. That hurts like a fishing hook. But the pain, the truth is necessary for transformation, because the spirit cannot change what it cannot catch. Let me repeat that. The spirit cannot change what it cannot catch. We must be willing to bring the word, the hook, if you will, to people, and to also be hooked ourselves. Because we are both fishermen and fish at the same time. I know it sounds paradoxical, but we both teach and learn. We are both teachers and students. We both demonstrate Christ and are simultaneously in need of someone to point to Christ to us. So even the evangelist needs to be evangelized. Every mother needs to be mothered at some point too. Every father needs a father, someone with whom he can rely on or be weak to. Every doctor would be a patient at some point and need somebody at some point in their life. And even the strongest man or woman will need somebody to lean on. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, we need to have both hands on deck in the church. So that when one gets tired, another can take up the mantle and run with it. Many hands make work light. We know that. TMI, total membership involvement. So here we see that the book represents the word of God. It is truth. And if you really take hold of it, it pierces the heart. It says in Hebrews 4 and verse 12, hear what it says. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even the division of souls and spirits, and of joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Or as the New Living Translation says, it exposes the innermost thoughts and desires. So the hook, or the word of God, goes deep and hard. It exposes sin for what it is. It gets right down to the root, the marrow. Now, they tell me, Elder Murray, that the marrow is a soft, fatty substance in the cavities of bones, and you can see it on the screen, in which blood cells are produced, often taken as typifying strength and vitality. Watch this now. So when the word comes into you, it attacks your very core, or your building block of your character. The very thing that you depend on for strength and vitality. It should cause you to question yourself and your beliefs and the things you focus on. It should help you to put things in their right perspective. Now, there are some signs you will see if your bone marrow is not working well. Jonathan, that should be on the next slide. Pale skin, energy loss, shortness of breath, you see them there. But thank God, when the word comes into your life, the book of truth, your pale skin begins to glow. You have a new look. You look beautiful and radiant. And you can only see that when you don't have on makeup. Obeying the word of God gives you a glow. And if you don't believe me, ask Adam and Eve when you see them. If you find your face is lacking that natural glow, don't check Fenty, NARS or CC+. And if you know what I'm talking about, just keep your head straight. All you need to do is follow the New Start principles. Get a blue soap and the word of God and you're good to go. So what else does the word do? It brings back energy to your body. Because you now have something greater than yourself to live for. The word heals infections fast. It reminds you that you have to forgive. And as you forgive, you are forgiven. And so you heal from hurts and disappointments quicker. Rather than allow disappointments to fester and make you even more sick. It says that when bone marrow is not functioning well, it causes you to bruise easily. But as a Bible-believing, truth-seeking Christian, you learn from the word not to trust any man. And so you don't bruise easily because you understand that human beings are selfish by nature. And that understanding prepares you for hurt. So disappointments may come, yes, and people may fail you, but you don't bruise very easily because you expect the worst while hoping for the best. And even if you do bruise, when the truth of the word of God hits your bone marrow, Christ's blood mingles with yours and dries up every wound, every scar, every hurt. And though you may get cuts and bruises from time to time, you never bleed for long. So thank God for the truth found in His word. Now let's look at the beat. What are the qualities of a beat? Well, you know that a bait must be something that is attractive to the fish, not so? Must be attractive to the fish that you're trying to catch. So what is a Christian bait? What are the things that persons are attracted to? What lures people in? Might I suggest the 3 L's of human being? Looks, lifestyle, and language. The looks. All of us know that for many occupations you can tell by the way they dress, not so? Your dress speaks to who you represent. Right? And that's why when school children want to get in trouble, they walk with a change of clothes. So after school, they take out the tie and they put on a t-shirt, they give them trouble. They can't really identify with school necessarily. They have an idea. So parents, take note. Check the bags on mornings. Alright? Now, Jonathan, on the screen, the first picture I'm going to put up, I want you to help me. The first picture, I want you to tell me, what profession is this one? That's a? Police, very good. Put the answer, Jonathan. Press, right, nice. Next one. That's the one. That's Jenny right there. Okay, good. The next one. What do you think that one is? Your carpenter, maintenance man, yeah? Handyman, alright. Next one. Come again. I want to take an identified and just so quick. Next one. Yeah, Jehovah's Witness. That could be a one. A nurse, a doctor. Next one. Fisherman, what we're talking about today. The next one. What's that? Exactly, don't know. He has on a suit. So I say, I can't tell. And of course the last one, when I capture that one, waste that time. Alright? So you shouldn't fall in that category. Now, the problem with Christianity and fishing for souls is that we don't have a prescribed uniform. Or do we? Might I suggest the following guide or uniform that we can use at least for salmon. The length. Covering the essentials adequately so that in the event you fall Then, or after someone stage, no one can see what the Holy Spirit sees and your husband knows. The fifth, enough room for adequate circulation. What is enough room, you might ask? I'm glad you asked. Well, for one, after you eat, you should not have to loosen, unzip on time because you feel restricted. You should be able to bend without it ripping or have the fear of it ripping. And as a general rule, no one wants to know or should know the shape, color, or design of anything under your clothes. Now I know that for some of us, we do not mean to be a distraction or attraction, depending on what end of the likable spectrum you fall on. Some of you might have gained weight, and your weight may have increased faster than your pay. So you haven't gotten new clothes as yet. Well, in that case, I have a solution. Come to church early, and I mean early, real early, as soon as Kenny reach. Sit down at the back for the entire service. And just as the service is about to finish, right after the prayer, before the platform personnel come down, just get up quickly and leave quietly. No questions asked. If not, and you find Brother Hagley out of order, some of you might be thinking, come with a good sized straw and cover yourself. Now men, I was told that we have problems too. And so let me say here to the men, based on what I've heard women complain about. Men, no one wants to know the thickness of your thighs or the position of your nipples on your chest. So a little room is important too. Remember, the main goal is not to attract anyone to the outward man, but the inward man. 1 Peter 3:3 says, your beauty should not come from outward adorning, such as elaborate hairstyles and the wearing of gold jewelry and fine clothes. So Brother Hagley, what you say? We should dress old and drab with some oversized clothes? If that is what you got, then you are ready to defend yourself. And you could be further from what I'm saying. A senior female, and she's in church today, member of this church, said once to a young lady in my hearing, when you're young and you have it, you have to flaunt it. Because when it's gone, it's gone. And I agree with that for the most part. We all have to and should look nice. God likes nice things. God is a God of zest. I mean, look at nature, the flowers and the birds and the stars and the beauty. But it must not come at the expense of someone else's salvation. And if your response inside is, well, if I distract you, you will turn your head, then I'm sorry, you have the wrong attitude. And that is not the right spirit. Remember, we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. And anything as long as it does not cause us to break a principle should be considered in helping to save another and not be a stumbling block. The problem with many of us today is that we've gotten too big. No one can talk to us anymore. We don't like to take correction, or as old people say, you can't take telling. You see, as Christian beings, we have to be willing to adjust to the environment and culture while maintaining Christ's simplicity. So if a jacket is needed, even if it's a hot country and you find it unnecessary, just wear the jacket now. It's only for a couple hours anyway. Remember the words of the Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 9. Let's go there together, please. I really want us to go there. 1 Corinthians 9, 19 to 23. It should be on the screen. Those of you who can't see it, we'll read from the screen. 1 Corinthians 9, 19 to 23. I want us to take that slow. Now, watching the time, we're almost there, but please don't rush me. Don't let me feel like I need to rush. Alright? It says, verse 19, though I am free and belong to no one, I have made myself a slave to everyone, to win as many as possible. To the Jews, I became like a Jew. To do what? To win the Jews. To those under the law, I became like one under the law. Though I myself am not under the law, so as to win those under the law. To those not having the law, I became like one not having the law. Though I am not free from God's law, but I'm under Christ's law. So as to win those not having the law. To the weak, I became weak. To win the weak. I have become all things to all people. So that what? By all possible means I might save some. I do all this for the sake of the gospel, that I may share in its blessing. Amen? You know, I've heard so many persons say, I ain't living by she, I ain't living by them. They can't tell me what to do. Might I suggest that if what they are telling you is something good and in alignment with the word of God, you have a Christian obligation through a spirit of brotherly love to gracefully surrender. As long as it was done in love, obey, full stop, and amen. You know, it's amazing that as Seventh-day Adventists, we have issues with these things. First of all, everybody around the world knows that there is a way to dress that attract different people. Not so? If you want to appear cheap, you wear short, tight, revealing clothing in public. If you want to appear business-like, you wear a suit. Now, I know some of us might say, but Brother Hagley, many of the big companies like SaaS and Google, they don't make an issue with dress as long as you get the job done. And that is the mentality that a lot of Christians adopt when they are told about a particular hairstyle or dress. They ask the all too familiar question, what does my dress or hairstyle have to do with my relationship with God? Well, first of all, you must let the secular things remain secular and let the spiritual things remain spiritual. But the main issue, especially as we are looking at fishing for souls, is that we all should want to give ourselves the best chance to witness without the person forming some sort of negative opinion of you from the beginning, which may prevent them from listening to you or taking you seriously. So even if you have to sing, preach, give out tracts, dress the way you want to be addressed. Remember, whether we like it or not, people form opinions of us every day in their minds. Some true, some false. Sometimes for the slightest or seemingly most insignificant thing. So we are always on guard as human fishing bait. Now I believe that we ought to take care of ourselves. Groom, bathe, and smell good. But there is a level after that when you become too much into yourself, where you are too focused on making a statement or entrance. Some of us are too attention seeking, and we dress just like the world with its loud styles and fashion. Keep in mind that this attention seeking may have a deeper issue behind it, such as a low self-concept. So pay attention to that and ask God to work that out of you. Now, fish one bait that looks good, not so? Yes. Fish one a nice, colorful bait. But did you know that too much color, especially in the animal kingdom, when a predator sees a prey that is too colorful, it perceives it as poisonous. That is why, as Adventists, our bait should be colored with simplicity. Because simplicity always stands out in a world of passion and play. And people want to be better. They just need us to show them how. You know, for me, I get turned off whenever I see a young woman with a lot of makeup on. Minus those who may have some kind of skin issue, of course. I'm not going to go there and be that legalistic. What comes to my mind anytime I see a young lady, just no problem on your face, your skin tight and everything good. The image that comes to my mind, and please forgive me, is the image of the harlot woman in Revelation. With all the stuff. For me, even beyond being an Adventist, there is something extremely attractive about that natural look. Just clean, neat, and natural. And fishes can sense that from a mile. Though some fish may be attracted to bait or looking good on the outside, but as soon as they bite, As soon as they take a bite, they would realize that they're trying to wiggle away. The difference between actual fish and human fish is that though many fish are dumb, and they will continue to come back and bite again and again at the same fake bit. But with human fish, once they bite and they realize it's fake, it's almost impossible to get them to come back. And worse yet, they will tell their friends. And it becomes even more difficult to get their attention, far less to attract them to the gospel truth. You know, for many of, the main reason why I believe many of the other sheep of other fold have not come into our church as yet and accepted the Sabbath is because if they join now, they might be lost forever due to the fake bait we have around, including me. So the Lord is giving us time to get our lives together so that when they come into the fold, they will see what true Christian living is about and want to invite others to come. So let every man and woman, boy and girl, examine him or herself and look in the mirror at the bait you are using to fish. Let's quickly look at the lifestyle. I'm coming down. Hello, are you there? You can't give me a time out on stage because you will see. Our lifestyle should be one where others will want to aspire. Isn't that true? From our health principles, involvement in our communities, as Anabras mentioned earlier on, the way we conduct business, our academic achievements, our work ethics, the way we disagree and solve conflict, our understanding and application of the word, our attendance to church and behavior there. Now, let me stick a pin on that one. I have a good Catholic friend, we've been friends for years, husband and wife. And she said to me one time, every time I pass by our church, you always have people on the outside. She went on to say, if you come to church, you come to church. And, well, you know, I had to kind of find a nice answer at the same place. I said, well, we have the water fountain right there. So I'm hoping that they're probably going for water. And then it's the main entrance, you know. You might see a deacon, we're trying to greet people. So maybe that's what you're seeing. But I know, brethren, that we have to stop that. We have to fix it. People are looking at us and it's not looking good. Remember, we should constantly be in fishing mode. The question we all should be asking ourselves is, how is my lifestyle reflecting God? And am I being a good bait for the Lord? We say this all the time, that we are God's hand and feet. And that is how people see Jesus. Let not the words of Mahatma Gandhi be true about us, who said, the whole world would be Christians if it wasn't for the Christians. Are we being stumbling block for others because of our lifestyle? The most common excuse I hear from most people why they don't want to join the faith is because of what they see us do during the week. Almost all the time. Now our last L, language. As human beings fishing for men, what are the words that are coming out of our mouth? Is it words of discord, division, hypocrisy? Are we holding on to anger for some hurt we receive from a trusted friend or spouse? And so we find fault in everything because we are really hurting on the inside and can't find a way to release it. So the poor children pay for it. Your spouse pay for it. Church programs pay for it. Your church brothers and sisters pay for it. You know, you can always tell a lot about a person by the way he speaks about others. Are we constantly looking for the good in others or quick to point out sin? Remember Matthew 7:2? For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. We need to be speaking the same language as a people, singing from the same hymnal. As parents, you never disagree in front of your children, at least on discipline issues. You always need to have a united front. So individually and collectively, we all must sing one song because potential fishes are watching to bite or swim away. Finally, we come to the sinker. The sinker. Now, unlike all the other qualities that is related to the fish, the sinker is more about the fisherman himself. Why do you say that, Brother Hagley? But let's look at the qualities of the sinker that the Lord wants us to learn from. The sinker keeps the line steady from drifting all over the place, not so? It allows you to feel the line so that you would know that you actually have a line in your hand. Because the water of sin makes everything feel light. It makes you feel comfortable in a world of sin, telling yourself that sin is not so bad. And so the sinker provides just enough resistance to remind you where you stand. Sinkers also reaches to the bottom of the ocean. Might I suggest that the sinker is Christ walking through the fisherman. The sinker keeps the line steady from drifting. Jesus is our rock. He keeps us steady. As Christian sinkers, we have to know what we believe and believe what we know. We can't be wishy-washy here today, somewhere else tomorrow. And we need to know it now, because when the shaking starts, it will be too late. The sinker for Christian also represents resistance, because resistance or stress strengthens us. Not too much to overpower us, but just enough to keep us grounded. For it is a Christian who have been through a test that will have a testimony, not so? And so if there is no weight, there is no growing. So thank God for the weight in your life, for it not only helps you, but it indirectly helps others as they draw from your experiences. The sinker also teaches us as Christians that we need to have weight, not throw around our weight, but we need to have substance so that others can tell that we are different. And finally, the sinker reaches to the bottom of the ocean floor, where the bottom feeders live, the crabs and the lobsters. The bottom of the ocean is where the fish feces collect. This reminds us to be humble, because in order to reach people, you have to be grounded, you have to be humble, you have to be willing to go down to those at the bottom of the social status. For it is when your spiritual feet, your sinker, is resting on the ocean floor that you can get a true picture of how the ground feels. Who feels it, knows it. It tells you where the stones and debris are. Though you may not be able to see exactly what it is, it does give you a reference point for things. A reference. Something to be able to relate to others so that you become less judgmental. Because you have been in the same seaweeds of their lives. You've been in the stones and jagged experiences that hit them from all angles. And as they try to navigate this sinful ocean floor. You know what it is like to get stuck between a rock and a hard place, as sometimes sinkers do. And you just can't seem to get out. But thank God, the sinker, which is Christ Jesus, is working in you, is connected to the line. And the line is the Holy Spirit. So just at the time when you feel like giving up, the Spirit it guides you and lifts you out of your trouble. And so in closing, the words in Matthew 4, 18 to 20 is really calling us to be co-laborers with God, to fish for men. Why? I'll give you 3 points and I'll close. They're not very long. Number 1, because in laboring for others, you are in fact laboring for yourself. In fishing for souls, you are in fact fishing out your own soul, out of the ocean of sin. God knows that men need work to stay out of trouble. As we labor for others, we see more and more how we could have been had it not been for the mercies we receive from God. And we become more grateful. But at the same time, we should be developing more compassion and becoming less judgmental of people. For as we minister to others, we have the same struggles as they do. We become more relatable. We can give advice that comes from a place of experience and mercy. So for those of us who do not like to fish, because we believe that we need to be fished out ourselves, pray and work. Pray and work. Number 2, fishing for souls gives you a reason for living beyond yourself. A greater calling, a greater purpose. Without purpose, such as working for others, life has significantly less meaning. As humans, we are built to fight for something greater than ourselves. That's why even the most coward parent will not sit idly by and see anyone take advantage of their child. Somehow they get strength, they forget fear, and when they have to, what they will do whatever they have to do to protect their child. So too, we get strength when we fight for others and courage that we never knew we had. And that's why Jesus could go to the cross, fishing for our souls. The love for humanity was greater than the pain of the cross. We have to get to the point as a people where we see every human being as our child, our cause, where we are willing to die for them. And that can only happen through a surrendered, selfless heart. And my last point, it is such a good feeling to know that God did not just have us here as ornaments, but He got us involved in saving humanity. He gave us something to work, some work to do. Our work is supposed to be a blessing. Without involvement, without co-laboring with God, how can we truly appreciate Him? Think about that. It is only those who have been through trials, not just for yourself, but to see someone else make it, that can truly say, yes, Lord, we made it together. Have we become so preoccupied with ourselves that we don't have time for anyone else? Jesus' statement, I will make you fishers of men, was for the fisherman and the tax collector. It skills are for all who love God and want to see others saved. We all are called to be fishermen in our own circle. Some deep ocean fishermen or worldwide evangelists. Some local fishermen or local waters or nationwide evangelists. And yet, most of us on the rocks, by the jetty, with our little pan line, trying to save one little fish at a time. But don't be discouraged, because Luke 15:10 says, in the same way I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of angels of God. In the presence of angels of God over one sinner who repents. And as I wrap up, I need to mention this here. Finley mentioned in her introductory remarks about me staying. I remember 2.5 years ago, and I can speak about this more freely, because